Hello everyone, peace of Christ to all. Today our topic is about the science of the Quran. Now, many of you request me to give to make some videos about science in the Quran because Muslims they flooded the internet with those. Actually, I made a lot of videos before, but it doesn't hurt really. We can make always more. However, if you really like to learn about what it's called the science of the Quran, the true science of the Quran, Uh, I remind you, I made the whole book, and the whole book is just to refute the Muslims' claim about what they call it science of the Quran. You can get the book from Amazon. If you go to Amazon, search for Christian Prince, you will find
Make always more.
oops,
However,
you will find the names of my books all over, and you can choose the one which you think is good for you. And this is Quran and Science, as you see it there. The one have the image of the earth, and you can read and educate yourself. However, we assure you that everything Muslims they claim about science of the Quran is nothing but a hocus. Actually, it is a joke and it is stupid. And I'm going to make a series of those so everybody can see by himself that this is nothing but a lie. And they are actually, it's an insult for mankind to believe that Quran have a science. So let us start it. We will talk about space today. We will talk about space, and because the Quran mentioned in many places the space. Now, all of us we know that the space is full of planets and full of stars and meteor and etc. The human being is trying to explore as much as he can of this huge space. And I believe until now we have a very little knowledge of what we have. We can say very tiny knowledge, really. However, based on what we know and based on what is written in the Quran, we are going to make our study today together. And please don't forget you can post your comment under the video if you like it, and subscribe at any time you wish. So we are not going to do what Muslims do. When the Muslims speak about any other belief, they give their own false interpretation for verses and explanation. Suddenly, they became expert in our book. We will not do that. Everything we say here is going to come from their Islamic books with their approval, and is going to expose everything the Muslims they claim. Now, I might make more than one video, so when this topic is over, I might start again, take a break, and make another broadcast, etc. So we can have a series and we don't make it really long. Now, let us start. All of us, we knew that a human being went to the space. This is the website of NASA, and this video is coming from NASA. And NASA, they try to do a lot of education for kids, for young, for adult, etc. There is something we knew, which is called, like when we see things at night falling from the sky. Human being always he tried to explain those things, and through centuries and thousands of years, a human being was not really able to find out what's really happening. What is those things that's coming down from the sky? However, long before NASA found out what those are, Allah He did told us what those are exactly. So what Allah He say of those things which is falling down from the sky and they are hitting the earth? Let us see what Allah He say about this. Forget about NASA. NASA are a bunch of ignorant and they are stupid, and Allah knows best, as Muslims always say. So we will go to the Quran. And we will do some study. If we go to chapter 67, verse number 5. Chapter 67, verse number 5. Let me show you the verse number. All right. I made the text big so you guys can read it when I switch to English. All right. Now, as you see, there is many translation. You Muslims, you can pick up any translation of your choice. As you see, I'm not using my own translation. In order to get you busted, I prefer to use your translation. However, I don't agree with any Islamic translation because I believe all of it is a fabrication. Yusuf Ali. This is Yusuf Ali. According to the Quran, in chapter 67, verse number 5, Allah saying that Allah, He created the stars, He called it as lamps. And for sure, the Muslim will say to you, this is by itself, the word lamps is a scientific discovery. We will see that later. We have made adorned the lowest heaven with lamps. So according to Quran, the stars exist only in the lowest heaven. Now I don't want to forget to mention that Muslims, they say that the Quran speak about the atmosphere. If you go right now and search uh, in Google, and let me see if I can find it right away. Quran and 7 layers of atmosphere. Just to show you the deception of Muslims, you will see the Muslims, they have tons of articles about the Quran speaking about the layers of the atmosphere. And here we go. I found this one just right away. All right. In front of your eyes, I will have it. Hold on. All right. This is the Muslim claim that those verses are speaking about the atmosphere. It says, it is He who created, it is He. Let me be sure that you can see it perfectly. All right, I think it's fine. It is He who created everything on earth for you, and then He directed His attention up to the heaven and arranged it, it on 7 regular heavens. He has a knowledge of all things. And then the Muslims, they start drawing for you here the atmosphere. And by the way, all those 7 they are not true. There is nothing, it's called 7 layers of atmosphere. I assure you that this is a big fat lie. Secondly, sorry, let us go with the Muslims claim excuse me, and say the Quran here is speaking about the 7 atmosphere. Then how this verse, the one we showed you, it's speaking about 7 or sky, the sky, which is decorated with the lamps, and the lower part of it is the one have the stars. So if those are the 7 heavens Allah He created, and this is the atmosphere, it's mean we don't have any more space, because Allah did not create more layers of heaven. He created 7 heavens. So when the Muslim, they say this is about the atmosphere, then they have to accept that the stars exist in the atmosphere, because the Quran says that the stars located in the lowest heaven. So based on this deception, the heaven, according to Muslims, is the atmosphere. Therefore, as long as the Quran mentioned that the stars are existed in the lowest heaven, that means the heaven is located here. The stars located in the first 1.5 kilometer above the earth. And this is to show you how much those people, they have deception, and they have no shame to lie and to fool you. They think that you will not connect the verses together to see what's really happening, because Allah, He created what? He created the earth and 7 heavens. 7 heavens is the whole heavens. There is no more heavens. And if the 7 heavens, all of them, they are the atmosphere, then there is no more space. That's it. And then to make it more horrible, they say to you that this is the atmosphere and it's 7 layers, which is absolutely a lie. The atmosphere include inside it, there is layers, and that will make them maybe 7 or more. But the atmosphere, I think it's 4 layers exactly. It is not 7. However, even if that is what the case, the Quran say clearly that Allah, He put and He decorated the sky in the lowest heaven. So the 7 heavens are the 7 atmosphere layers, and Allah, He says that in the lowest heaven He put the stars. So Based on this, the stars should be here in the first kilometer above the earth, which is this one, the troposphere, number one. So who is here lying? Do we have the stars here? We don't. So this is the first lie the Muslims they speak about, and it's absolutely a bizarre lie. This is why always I say to you, don't ever accept a Muslim explaining to you his book, because those people they have they are liars in purpose. They lie. They knew it's a lie. Trust me, they knew. Now, as long we mention this and we got the first lie busted. And again, I want to remind the Muslims that we say that this is a lie for a very simple reason, because it's a lie. As you see, we cannot accept anyone says to us that the Quran is speaking about 7 heavens and this is all his creation, the earth and 7 heavens. And then he says to us the 7 heavens are the atmosphere, which means there's no more space. And then the Quran says to us that in the 7 heaven, in the lowest heaven, we have uh, the lamps. You see, I searched here, and this is how we can find it. It's very easy to expose the lies of those Abdus. So when a Muslim he come to us with those excuses, then we have to ask ourselves, can we trust a Muslim in anything he say? The answer for sure, absolutely not. We cannot. Don't ever trust a Muslim in any lie he say to you, because simply it is a lie. All right. Now let us move back to the Quran. But what the story of those stars which is in the lowest heaven? What is the story of those stars? As you see here, the Quran go more in the stupidity of science and claim that Allah he shoot the genie when they try to leave the zone of the earth, and those are stars, and those are the lamps who they are stars made as a defense system to defend the territory of Allah from any genie trying to get into into the space. Now, is that really true? This is absolutely false. And nobody, no human being have little brain, he can believe in such a garbage. But why Allah is shooting with the stars a little genie to drive him away? Drive him away from where? Those who do not know much about Islam, they will find this is kind of strange. What the Quran is saying, that according to Muhammad and his God, that the genie they try to go up to heaven and they try to spy at Allah. They try to spy at Allah, and when they spy, they try to learn about the news of the heaven which is coming about the earth, and then they use it for their own bad purpose. So the genie are bad creatures, generally speaking. And Allah, in order to protect his heaven from those spy, like Russian spy, he shoot them by missiles. And this is the lamps we are talking about. So the lamps are existed in the lowest heaven, and there is only lamps. And as you see here, the lamps, those they have two purpose. The first purpose, they are a decoration. They are decoration, and those lamps those lamps, they are there until a genie he tried to get close to the heaven, and then Allah he used them to shoot immediately as a missiles to drive away the shaitan or the genie. For many people do not know that shaitan is a genie. Satan in Christianity, he was a fallen angel. In Islam, he is not. He is a genie. So just take a note of that. And he showed them with those stars, and he burned them with the penalty of a blazing fire. All right, blazing fire. So shaitan he tried to get out. Allah right away he have a defense system. He is watching closely, and then he shoot the shaitan. Now the funny about this, that the story is not over yet. In the Quran, Allah, He said, and He stated clearly that nobody can get out of the zone of the earth. Before we go there, just to confirm to you that this is the case, that the shayateen, they try to spy at Allah. If we go chapter 72 verse number 9, let me show you the verses. Here we go. We can choose any translation of your choice. It doesn't matter, all of them, they are fabricated. However, here we go. As you see, Allah claiming, or the author of the Quran, that those genies, all right, those are what? They are genies, and they try to listen to the Quran. And they try to listen to the news of Allah. And here you will see it says this, we you know, and they try to get close to heaven so they can listen to it and get the news. But then Allah explain why they are doing that. They are trying to listen to spy, and he who tried to do that, Allah is preparing for him a missiles of a flame he will shoot at him. All right, as you see in the front of your eyes, and this is absolutely pure science. All right, this is the science of Allah. So you try to shoot, you try to listen to Allah, you spy at Allah, Allah will shoot you immediately. Now, how Allah will shoot you? If we go in the verse, you know, this is the chapter of a jinn. This is one of the funniest chapters in the Quran. If you go in the chapter, you will see that some of the genies, they are good genies and they are Muslims, they converted to Islam. And there is some of the genies, they are bad and they are against Islam. And those are the ones who Allah will shoot. However, none of the genies is allowed to get close to the heaven of Allah. It doesn't matter what kind of genie. If you try to get close there, you know, Allah will shoot them immediately. Now, you will not see any Muslim speaking in any article when they speak about the science of the Quran about this. You know, that genies are trying to spy at Allah, and Allah, He showed them with the stars, and then He forbid them from going to heaven. Now, what they will not tell you too, that in the Quran, Allah, He promised that nobody can go out of the zone of the earth. If we go to chapter 55, verse number 33, as you see in front of you in the screen, and you can choose any translation of your choice. Again, I insist that all of them, they are a fabrication. Let us take Yusuf Ali. Yusuf Ali translation, and this is the Quran in front of you. Allah saying to the human being and to the genies together, O the assembly of the jinns and men, if it be you can pass beyond the zones of the heavens and the earth, pass ye, not without authority shall you be able to pass. Now, how we explain this? Because, you know, if we explain it by ourselves, the Muslim, they will say, see, he is giving his own explanation. No, we will not do that. We will go to Ibn Kathir and we will read together and we will see what really that meant exactly. The God of the Islam simply, he is challenging the humans to pass out of the zone of the earth, which means you cannot do it. And this is Ibn Kathir, you can read. You know, I think that the screen is very clear. O assembly of jinn, you will not be able. Actually, let me try to activate the sound. All right. Okay, here we go. I will make my reader read it for you. All right. Let's see if it's going to work.
O assembly of jinn and man, if you are able to pass beyond the zones of the heavens and the earth, then pass beyond them, but you will never be able to pass them, except with authority from Allah, meaning you will never be able to escape Allah's orders and decrees, because it encompasses you. You will never be able to avoid or avert His rule and judgment over you. You are surrounded by it wherever you may be. This is also about the gathering when the angels, comprising 7 lines in every direction, will surround the creatures. None of the creatures will be able to escape on the day.
All right. So what the Quran confirmed, that Allah is saying nobody can get out of the earth until the judgment day, where people they go to heaven and people go to hell. But all of us, we knew that the Russian, the American, and now the Chinese, they are planning to go. They went already out of the zone of the earth. Actually, Chinese already they went, but I mean, the mankind, as a man trip. Actually, even the American, they took once a Saudi prince with them, and when he came back from the space, they found his hands very red, and they asked him, "Why your hand is red?" He said, "Because each time I try to touch a bomb, they hit me on my hand." So man went already out of the zone of the earth, but the Quran is challenging the human being and the genie to go out of the zone of the earth. Why? Because the stupid Muhammad, he thought this will never happen. It's impossible. So who of you can go out of the zone of the earth and the heaven without the authority of Allah? And the authority of Allah supposedly is going to happen only for the good believers when they go to heaven at the end of the time. And the funny that the first one who was able to go to the heaven, if we can call it heaven here, is the communist, because at that time the Russian, they were communist government. So not the Christians, not the Jews, not the Hindus, not the Buddhas. The communist is the first one to go to heaven, and that will make Allah really get busted badly. What kind of God? He promised that nobody can get out of the zone of the earth, and then a human being, they can go out to heaven. That's very funny, right? It's not about the Muslim they build or not. It's about the Quran promising, Allah promising that nobody can get out of the zone of the earth. And as you see, even if they try, even the genie, if they try to spy at Allah, Allah is going to hit them with his fire, his blazing fire, and he is going to punish them right away. Actually, even the hadith confirm that. The hadith say clearly that Allah, he will punish anyone try to listen and to spy at Allah Messenger. Let me find you the hadith as I remember it. The problem with those website, sometimes it's hard to find there. Let me remember what was the hadith. What was the hadith? Muhammad, he said, okay. Yeah, I think, let me see. There's a hadith where Muhammad, he says that angels, they speak loud, open. Actually, even here it says that. Hold on. In Ibn Kathir, I think, if you go down in Ibn Kathir, it speak about this issue, that those genies. All right. Let us see if we search. Hear it. All right, here we go. So Allah, he makes speeches in heaven, and angels are around him, and everybody will be able to hear it, except two, the human being and the genie. And why they will not be able to hear it? Because if the genie, they try to get close from the heaven, Allah will shoot them with the stars. And in different hadith, Muhammad, he says, the angels, they speak wide open in the sky, but not in our here, I mean in the sky, in heaven. And then nobody will be able to hear their speeches except, let us see if I can find you the hadith now. Here we go. We found it. The prophet said, while the angels talk amidst the cloud about things that are going to happen on earth, the devils hear a word of that they say, and pour it into the ears of the soothers, those who the fortune tellers. Okay, and as one pours something in bottle, and they told 100 lies to that. So the genies, they steal some information from the angel when they speak in the cloud. All right, they hear like a one word from the holy speech, and from that speech and from that word they add 100 lie to it, and they give it to those who they are fortune tellers, and they fabricate more lies about it, and they use it to deceive you. And absolutely, this is science, and this is why actually I call it genie in the bottle. You know, as you see, even Muhammad is talking about the genie in the bottle here. I don't know if the image is clear for you. All right, let us see. Look like here we will not be able to zoom in. Okay, but you can see it, I guess, right? I think it's clear. So Muhammad is speaking about a genie and his ball, and this genie who is going to steal information from the cloud, from the angel, and then he take it down to earth and he spread the news. In different hadith, Muhammad, he said, let me find the other hadith. I prefer always to show it to you in English, because you know, it's better to show proof and reference of what you say, better than just making a speech. Here we go. Do you see this this thing here? Let me see if I can. And this is a Sahih hadith. Let us hear together what this is saying.
The prophet said, when Allah decrees a matter in heaven, the angels beat their wings in submission to his decree, with a sound, like a chain beating a rock. Then when fear is banished from their hearts, they say, what is it that your Lord has said? They say, the truth, and he is the Most High, the Most Great, he said. Then the eavesdroppers, from among the jinn, listen out for that, one above the other. So, one of them hears the words and passes it on to the one beneath him. The Shihab, shooting star, may strike him before he can pass it on to the one beneath him, and the latter can pass it on to the soothsayer or sorcerer, or it may not strike him until he has passed it on, and he adds 100 lies to it, and only that word which was overheard from the heavens is true.
As you see, this is the defense system of Allah, and obviously this is an amazing defense system proven in science to be accurate, you know. So the genies, they try to spy at Allah, and Allah, he have the stars and he shoot them with the stars, and 99% of those genies, their ass will be burned and they will not be able to make it to earth to carry on the words they seal. However, one of the 99 genies, he might escape, and he carries some of the news he spy to the earth, and he give it to those who do black magic. I mean, how come the Muslims never spoke about this science? That the stars are made to shoot the genie in their ass, and the stars exist in the lower heaven, and the stars, they are meant to exist for two reasons: as a decoration and as shooting missiles against the genie. And why the Muslim never told us that genies, they spy at Allah, and Allah, he showed them by the stars? And then we need to ask ourselves more questions about this story. Why Allah is speaking loud as long he knew there is many spy? Why they are doing that? And how even the genie can get close? Why Allah don't just say one word? The Muslim, they say, if Allah wants something to happen, he say B is going to be. But as you see here, Allah is not able to prevent the genies from getting into heaven, and they are spying at him, and he used a defense system as if he is an army who have missiles, and he shoot back at his enemy. Why Allah don't say one word for the genies, and the genies will not be able to go out? Actually, he did. The Quran says clearly that Allah, he says that no human being and no genie can pass. But as you see in this story here, the genies were able to pass, and Allah, in order to prevent them from passing through more and more, he is shooting them with with the fire, and he challenged them that you cannot, but yet they can go. Isn't it the Quran says, like, I challenge you, O assembly of man, to pass the zone of the earth and the heaven? He did. So what this challenge for? As if they are going there and they are spying already, and they are exchanging words, and they are coming back to the earth, and the Russian, they went to the space, and the American, they went to the space, and the last one who will go to the space, not even in 1,000 years, it is the Muslims. What is the science here? Why the Muslim do not mention to us their fabricated science? As you see, all of this is a fabrication. Before we finish this video, because I don't want to, people, they are asking me to make short videos, and I understand people have no patience to listen for long. Just to show you, we know that Muhammad, he said, and the Quran says that the sun sit in a hot muddy water, if you remember, right? If you remember, when Alexander the Great, the Muslim, they say he is not Alexander the Great. The fact he is, because even Ibn Kathir, he says so. When he went all the way to the end of the world, he found where the sun set. In chapter 18, verse number 86. And the reason I'm mentioning this, because we are talking about the space, and the sun is one of the stars in the space. So we're trying to put all those things in one container. So chapter 18, verse number 86. What happened? Zulqarnain in Arabic means the guy with the two horns. He went all the way until he reached the sitting place of the sun. So he found what? He found where the sun set. It's a sitting place, and that is located in the earth. Some Muslim, they say to you, it appeared to him that this is the sitting place. The Quran say clearly, the Quran is stating a fact. The one is talking here is not Zulqarnain, it is Allah. Allah, he said to Muhammad regarding Zulqarnain, as you see here in verse number 83, they ask thee concerning Zulqarnain, say, I will rehearse you something of his story. So the one is answering about Zulqarnain is not Zulqarnain. Zulqarnain is already dead, and the one who's talking right now is Allah. Telling Muhammad, okay, well, you know what? They are asking you about Zulqarnain. And the fact, the Zulqarnain story, it was a bust made by the Jews. The Jews asked Muhammad, hey Muhammad, tell us about Zulqarnain. Muhammad, he have no idea what to say. So he told them, okay, I will answer you later. And later, after a few weeks, he come with this chapter, which is really stupid and full of funny stories. So he said, okay, let me tell you about Zulqarnain. They are asking me, you're asking me, okay, let me tell you. Zulqarnain, he is a person who established power in earth, as you see. And then he kept walking in earth until he reached the sitting place of the sun. And he found it sitting in a spring of murky water. He found it. It doesn't. The verse doesn't say he thought it is sitting in a murky water. The verse does not say it appeared to him it's sitting. This is a lie. The Quran is stating the story and what Zulqarnain he have accomplished in his life. So he found it. The sun is sitting in a hot murky water, and look like the sun goes every maybe Friday or every day, and go to the spa. Like, don't you go to the spa if you are a person who have some money? You want to spoil yourself, you go to the spa. The sun is a female, and she go to the spa every sunset. That makes sense. And it's a hot murky water, and if it's very well known that murky water is very healthy if it is containing some material. So the sun goes every day in the end of the day and set in the murky water. And the prophet Zulqarnain, and by the way, Zulqarnain is a good guy. He is a prophet of Allah. As you see later, later Allah, he says to him, when he found people sitting next to that place, Allah, he told him, either you punish them or treat them kindly. Who said that to them? Allah. Look, Allah speaking to Zulqarnain. We said, O Zulqarnain, Allah said, O Zulqarnain, either you punish them or you treat them. Who? Those who he found next to them, next to the sun sitting place. So This is confirmed that this is a physical place, and next to that place where the sun set, where is the murky water, and actually it's not only a murky water, it's a hot water, hamia. Hamia mean hot water. So he found next to it people who live there. And then Allah, he spoke to him, which means this guy, he is a prophet of Allah. But Alexander the Great, he is a bisexual. So bisexual prophet of Allah makes sense. Then he says to him, Allah is giving him the order, either you punish them or treat them nicely. Then Zulqarnain, he answered, whoever give whoever did wrong, I will punish him. Whoever did right, I will I will not. As simple as that. And then this guy, he continue, and then he continue walking in different direction. So he follow in the other way. Remember, now he found the sitting place of the sun. So then Zulqarnain, he switched direction, and he went to find other thing, which is the rising place of the sun. Until, so he changed direction, the opposite direction, and he reached until when he came to the rising of the sun. He found it rising on people whom are had provided no covering protection against the sun. You believe it or not? You believe it or not? The Muslims, they claim that this verse is about the ozone. The Muslims, they claim that this is about the ozone. How they say that? They said, oh, it says there that those people, they have no protection for them against the sun. This is how much those people, they lie. And they claim that this is located in the North Pole. Like where? In the North Pole. How in the world those Abduls, they come with this lie? Because they are desperate for finding anything to make their Quran as a book of science. Let me find it for you so we can laugh together. Quran 1890 ozone. Oh, I'm typing in Arabic. Hold on, I need to switch. When you see it, you will really laugh. But this is showing you how Muslims, they try to make something it is a stupid into a miracle. The verse is speaking about he found the rising place of the sun, and he found next to it people who live there. And the Muslims, they made this stupid verse as if it's scientific discovery about the ozone. So we go Quran 1890 ozone layers. Let us see. I'm just trying to find it for you so we can laugh together. Okay, I think I found it. I found the link, but they are not showing really uh, the drawing, the one I wanna find. Let us see. All right. I think I found it. Here we go. This is Harun Yahya website. This guy is a scam. I expose him in my book, Big Deal. And here he have the list of the ozone miracles. I need just to find which one of them. Here we go. You click here, life in front of you. And look, you see, we are talking about the same verse. Be my witness. The same exact verse. It says the ozone layers. This is what the verse is talking about. And they claim that this is in the North Pole. And there, the scientists, they found that in the last 20 years, that the ozone is getting thinner and thinner. Hold on, stupid Abdul Muslim. The Quran speak about Alexander the Great going to where he found the sun rise. Do the sun rise from the North Pole? Abdul, potatoes, the nation of liars. Do the sun rise from the North Pole? If yes, let me know, please, because this is obviously something new for me. Secondly, in the North Pole, people, they need the protection from the sun. They don't see the sun. Since when in the North Pole, people, they are suffering from the sun? There is no sun, my friend. They wish they can see the sun. To live there, actually you cannot live in the North Pole. How you can live there? What do you mean those people, they have no protection from the sun? And this is not in the last 20 years, Abdul. What the scientist says about the North Pole, it was in the last 20 years that the ozone is getting thinner. We are talking about someone who exists long before Muhammad himself exists. We are talking about someone who exists 3,000 years ago. So look how they changed the location. It was the rising place of the sun. Where is Muhammad located? Muhammad located in Mecca. And where is Alexander the Great located? He is located in Europe. So where is the sunrise in Europe? In the east. And what is in the east? It is not the North Pole, you idiot. I'm just trying to show you how those people, they have no limitation with their lies. Everything is possible just to fool you and make you believe that Quran is a book of science. And just to confirm what I am saying, that Muhammad, he think really the sun goes every day and sleep in a spa, hot spa, taking a shower. Muhammad, he said to Abu Dharr, one of his companion, favorite one, Muhammad, he said to him, "Oh Abu Dharr, do you know where the sun goes? Do you know where the sun goes?" Let me show you the hadith. Read with me, please. This is Muhammad talking, not me. So don't blame me for the stupidity of Muhammad. This is Muhammad himself. This is not Abdul. This is not a Christian Prince interpretation. This is not Ibn Kathir. This is Muhammad explaining to us the science of the space of Allah, where the sun goes every day. Let us hear.
The Prophet asked me at sunset, "Do you know where the sun goes at the time of sunset?" I replied, "Allah and his apostle know better." He said, "It goes, that is travels, till it prostrates itself underneath the throne and takes the permission to rise again, and it is permitted, and then a time will come when it will be about to prostrate itself, but its prostration will not be accepted, and it will ask permission to go on its course, but it will not be permitted, but it will be ordered to return whence it has come, and so it will rise in the west." And that is the interpretation of the statement of Allah. And the sun runs its fixed course for a term. Decree that is the decree of Allah, the exalted in might, the all-knowing. 36.38.
Okay, Here, actually, this hadith exposes another verse in the Quran. You see, this is interpretation for the chapter. It says, "وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا." The Muslim, they make this as a science too. They say, the Quran says, "وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا." Let us see what the Quran said. The Muslim, they say to you, how Allah He speak about the orbit of the sun, the orbit of the sun, and this is supposedly the sun moving in the 365 days according to the Muslim science today. But is it truly what it is? This is what it's about. As you see, Muhammad himself, he got them busted. Muhammad, he says this is the orbit of the sun, or this verse, chapter 36, verse number 38, is about the sun going every day. This is the course of the sun every day, going from the east to the west, and then she go down in the murky water under the throne of Allah, and then in the morning she ask Allah to go back from where she came from, and she will appear from the east until the judgment day. That will change. The sun will not appear from the east, is going to appear from the west. And as you see here, Muhammad himself is giving the explanation, and even the hadith says, and this is the interpretation for the verse according to Muhammad. So how the Muslim, they lie and they say that this is about the orbit of the sun of the 365 days, and they make it as a miracle science of the Quran, when Muhammad actually stating something very stupid about the sun moving every day. According to Muhammad, look what he said to him. Muhammad, he said to the guy, he asked me, the prophet, he asked me, do you know where the sun goes at the time of the sunset? I replied, only Allah and his prophet know better. So where the sun what goes? According to Muhammad, the sun goes every day. And where it goes, we showed you in the chapter 18, verse number 90, that the sun goes and set, you know, in the chapter 18, in the hot water in the spa, and then he, you know, this is where the sun set, and then he went again and he found where the sun raised from. And now Muhammad voluntarily, he is explaining where the sun goes, and the sun goes simply from point A to point B, and she prostrates itself under the throne of Allah. So according to Muhammad, which is a clear, as you see in front of you, the sun goes every day, and he is explaining the sunset, not the orbit of a 365 days. And it says here clearly that this is the interpretation of the verse, which is chapter 36, verse number 38, as we showed you. This one here. The hadith says that. The hadith says that this is interpretation for chapter 36, verse number 38. But when you listen to Muslims, they have different fabrication to try to make it about science. Now, I don't want to make the video longer than this, because many of you asking me to make it shorter. But trust me, you know, for me, I have a passionate. I want to help everybody to see that this is nothing but a scam. And I don't want to see, especially young ones, who they are in love with science and discovery, to be fooled by the Muslim videos. Trust me, my friends, Islam is nothing but a scam. It's a stupid religion made by a stupid Arab ignorant man who was fooling those Bedouin who do not know how to read, how to write. Even the Muslim, they say to you that, you know, Muhammad himself do not know how to read, how to write. And just to show you before we finish here, the Muslim, they say to us that Muhammad was illiterate. Correct? But guess what? The first verse Muhammad, he received it from Allah. Allah claimed that he is the one who taught the human being by the pen. Chapter 96, verse number 4. Allah, the first chapter Muhammad, he received from his God, supposedly. And the Muslim, they changed the location because they played with their Quran. When Muhammad, he received his first chapter, the angel, he came to him supposedly in the shape of a man, and he started squeezing him as if he's a gay, and no mayonnaise came out or ketchup. And then he says to him, read. And Muhammad, he says, I do not know how to read. And he squeezed him again, read. He do not know how to read. And then he squeezed him third time. And after squeezing all the squeezing, Muhammad still, he have no idea what's happening. Then the angel continues saying that create and read in the name of your Lord who created the man out of a clot or congealed blood. This is the first mistake. A human being is not created from a congealed blood, my friend. And this is mentioned in many verses in the Quran. Congealed blood is a dead blood, and dead blood, according to Muhammad, the sperm transform into a congealed blood, which is very stupid and very funny. But I don't want to change the topic. Look here what it says. And he thought the use of the pen. Allah is the one who taught us the use of the pen. Are you serious? If Muhammad himself, according to Muslim, do not know how to write, how to read, how Muslims they say and they claim that the one who taught us how to write by the pen? First of all, the pen is not created by the Arab. Secondly, it's not created by Muslims, regardless who is the one who created. Number three, when Allah he taught us by the pen, how this happened? And if Allah taught us by the pen, why Muhammad did not learn how to use the pen? If Allah he taught the first verses he gave him, he says Allah he taught you by the pen, but yet Muslims they say to us he's illiterate. So everything in this religion, this is why I'm saying I challenge any Muslim to choose for me a chapter of the Quran, and the challenge is not to find tons of mistakes in it. Any chapter. This is the challenge. And I am a Christian prince, and I approve this message that nobody can debate me about any chapter of your choice. Islam is officially stupid, is made by a stupid man for a stupid human being. Again, if you like to learn more about Islam, don't forget you can read my books. We have, by the way, a new translation for one of my books, Deception of Allah. It is in Swedish, so if you have a friends who speak Swedish, please inform them. The way to find my books in Amazon, just type Christian Prince and you will find the list of my books. You click at the name of the author and you will find the rest of the books too. With this, I want to say thank you. I don't want to make it longer for you, but I might start another podcast later. Please share the video with your friends. And as you see, our videos is priceless. They can save life. They can change life of a human being. Muslims are targeting you. Don't think the Muslims are making videos just because they are making videos. They are trying to convert your children's. They are not trying to convert their children's. The target is your children's. So invite your children's, those even if they are 12 years old, 13 years old. Trust me, they are smart. They will see how stupid it is. Give them the flu shot, all right? Because this is a dangerous disease, and those people, they have no dignity, and they are willing to lie in every word they say. And we want to save everybody, starting from your children's. It's going to be very painful for you if you ever heard that your son or your daughter been misled by Muslims and convert to Islam. In the same time, we say to the Muslims, listen to me carefully. We don't hate you, but as you see, your religion is nothing but a scam, and you are a victim, and we don't hate you. We believe that you need our help, and we are here to help you. I will never hate a Muslim. I am not a person who hates Muslims, and this is not what my Lord he taught me. My Lord he says, those who curse you, bless them. I open my email every day. I find tons of emails saying we want to kill you, we want to hate, we want to find you. What do you think? People, they threaten me in Paltalk, in YouTube. I get it everywhere. But trust me, I'm not angry from anyone. I'm not afraid of anyone. If I'm afraid, I will not be opening my mouth. My death and my life is in the hand of my Lord, and the second he want to take me, I will be happy to go. For I have one Lord to serve, and that is not the man. That is my Lord, the Messiah, the Christ, who by his name everything created, and for him is created. Even your prophet, the prophet of the devil Muhammad, he said, when the Satan he meet with Jesus the Messiah, he will dissolve like salt. That is my Lord, my friend. My Lord is the one who said to the blind man, see. Your God, he said to Muhammad 3 times, read, and still he cannot read. Your God, he squeezed Muhammad 3 times, saying to him, read, still he cannot read. Jesus, he said to the one who cannot walk, walk, and he walked. The blind see, and he saw. The dead come from the grave, and he came from the grave. That is my Lord. So who is yours? Who is yours, Muslims? You have illiterate, ignorant, stupid prophet with a stupid God. All what is in his mind is a penis and a vagina and women for sex in the heaven. My Lord is high. He is noble, above all the noble. When he promised us heaven, he promised us a happiness which is cannot be described by sex and food. This is why he said he and she, they will be equal to angels, which mean we will be free from our needs. Right now we are slaves of our needs. We need to sleep, we need to eat, we need to go, rest, we need medication, we need doctors. We are slaves of needs. The Messiah is the one who can give you happiness. Food is not happiness, sex is not happiness. That is nothing but of the devil promise. Aren't you aware that God don't promise sex and slaves? 70, 80,000 boys will be your slaves. Think about it. Don't you think the high mighty, he will abuse the children to serve me in heaven? Just to make a human being happy, he will make 80,000 little child serving me for eternity. That is not justice, and that is not God, and that is the nature of a man. He loved to abuse other kind. He loved to abuse a human being. Do you think God will give me 80,000 women to sleep with as sex slave? I do not know even their names. I do not know where they are coming from. They have no idea who I am. Just because I am worshiping Allah, Allah will give me 80,000 women to abuse them and to be my servant, sex slaves forever. Do you think God will do that? That is not holy, and that is not God. And this is why we decided to call him Draco Allah, which means Dracula. With this, I want to say thank you for watching. Share the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you like what we do. God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Thanks.